So welcome. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So welcome to our next OCP European Workstream call. I can see we have a bunch of dedicated data center and OCP people in the call. Also, even in Berlin, I can see. Welcome, guys. 1 hour we have ahead of us. The video recording is starting with a Zoom call straight away. So it's already been recorded what we are saying. So I would like to kick off as usual, going through the agenda. We have really interesting guest speakers again today. We have Lesia, who is on the call, who will provide an update with them about the technology symposium and the European startup program she's running together with Cliff from the US. And we have two more speakers also on board. Jaime, I can see Jaime, but yeah, saying that, welcome guys. I would like to really go to the agenda before I'm telling all the good news in advance here. Here you go. So this is the agenda for today's call. Again, we have Lesia on the call, providing updates on the Technology Symposium and the European Startup Program. We have also, in line with what Lesia is telling us, a startup from Europe, from Belgium, Ethanetics. They are really providing the most energy efficient and also sustainable PDU for data centers in Europe. And of course, they would like to scale the business. So we have hopefully a bit later, I cannot see him. Jan, are you on the call?
I'm on the call. Hi, Stefan. Good morning.
Perfect. Welcome. So Jan will share some insights. And last but not least, we save the best for last. We have Jaime, my good friend from Spain, who's leading the heat reuse work stream group at OCP. So 1 hour. So everyone having around 50 minutes time slot, possibly maximum 20. And we take it from there. So as usual, let me go to the objectives or the targets of these kind of calls we're having on a monthly basis is, I think I always reading these out, so people should be familiar. But again, just briefly, what kind of OCP components are available in Europe? What kind of support is available? Because we're getting these questions all the time. Where actually can interested people really look and touch and feel OCP deployments within the European region. And what we have having today, we are sharing we're having guest speakers here from other OCP workstream projects or subgroups, sharing some information, what's happening in their dedicated work streams. And last but not least, we would like to also see what kind of objectives or obstacles are we having today against the OCP adoption in Europe, and how can we really solve this together and have more data center sites using OCP or hardware and also the open source software. So I would like to jump on now, but Lesia, I think I need to whether I think you sent me a PDF file, I can just click you through, or I can give you the you can give the right to present it yourself, how you would like to proceed.
I would like to present. I think I do have the share screen.
Yeah, then I will unshare basically, and then
you should stop sharing.
And then you can share your screen. Is that okay?
Yep.
So let me check here. Perfect. Yeah, please, it's all yours.
So good morning, everyone. I'm Lesia. I'm going to tell you about the OCP Future Technologies. You probably have heard about these programs. I'm the chair of the Future Technologies Symposium and also in charge of the OCP startups. So today on this call, I would like to cover the three big areas, which is Future Technologies Initiative, Future Technologies Symposium, and also the newly launched OCP Startup Membership and Program. If you do have questions during my talk, please feel free to interrupt me, maybe raise your hand and ask your questions. So what is a Future Technologies Initiative? So we call it the FTI. So FTI is an initiative launched by the OCP with the purpose to bring together the research community and industry member in order to partner together and addressing the long-term problems and accelerate productizations. So these are the longer projects that we currently have under the OCP, where different organizations can join together and put common efforts to develop future technologies. So the mission of the Future Technologies is to serve as a forward-looking funnel of ideas and technologies that will be adopted by the OCP community. We are focusing on innovation. We want to bring the innovation and future technologies to the community. We are focusing on technologies. We want to identify what are these upcoming challenges and problems and how can we solve them together. We also want to focus on people because people are the biggest assets. So we are focusing on the talents and researchers from the labs, from the universities, students, and also people who work in the R&D of large organizations. At this moment, we do have currently 3 FTI work streams, and those are AI hardware software co-design, cloud service model, and data-centric computing. The information about the work streams can be found under the OCP project section, where you can find the breakdown on the 3 FTI work stream. As mentioned earlier, our mission is to create the adoption of future technologies. And I'm happy to announce that in 2022, we transitioned software-defined memory. This was our first successful project that we incubated in the FTI and successfully transitioned to the OCP sub-projects. And this year, we are going to announce another project that is transitioning from FTI to OCP, which is a cloud service model. So if you will be joining the symposium, you will hear more information about this and what are the success of the project. Within the FTI work streams, we continue to work and progress. So we are currently having our pipeline, the optical interconnects. We also have the quantum under exploration, and these could be potentially 2 new work streams to be launched in the near future. So our focus right now is to build on inclusion and ROI for our community, and also to continue bring more people from the OCP members to our FTI and FTIF's efforts. So if you're interested, reach out to me and get in touch about the FTI. Just want to stop here. Do you have any questions regarding this Future Technologies initiative? If not, I will be moving forward with the Future Technologies Symposium. So Symposium is a part of the initiative, but it's slightly separated. The Symposium is a forum that spotlights promising technologies. And the mission of the Symposium is to identify future technologies and to showcase them at the symposium. We do have a cadence of a regional and a global symposium, and symposium take place during the OCP either global or regional summit. And I will tell you a little bit more about this later on. So symposium has a process, a selection process, which actually represents like a big 6 steps. So we start from the call for papers. You probably have seen some of the communication coming from our team about the call for Future Technologies Symposium papers. There is a submission period and review period. Our core metric is innovation and degree of novelty. We also look for technological innovations that has, of course, technical feasibility and applicability in the OCP. So we want to identify future technologies, but those should be really applicable in the OCP community. There is also the notification process and final feedback and comments. So in order to perform this process, we work with the program committee. This year we have 4 technological tracks, and we also have the other category, which is not listed here. So you can see on these slides, we have experts from different fields who help us to reach out to new audience, to reach out to different organizations and identify, first of all, and then attract these potential submitters who would want to present at the symposium. We also have the expert committee because as a part of our process is a peer review process. So we want that minimum 3 experts review the papers and give feedback to authors. So you might see we have Vikrant from Uber, we have Manisha from Samsung, we have Brian from Marvel, Lucas from Deloro, and many more. So we do have a big group of experts who help us to assess, attract, and analyze and give feedback to the authors. So what the process? As mentioned earlier, the first step is to submit the 2-page paper in the IEEE format. You can see on the left side of the screen an example of the submission. And if the submission is accepted, if the scoring of the paper is high enough, the author will be accepted for presentation and poster. On the second stage of the application process, an accepted author needs to submit a presentation and a poster. Depending on the notification, an author can be submitted to present and to showcase a poster, or to only showcase a poster. So keep in mind that we do have different criteria that can be applied for these 2 categories: presentation and posters, and only posters. So what's happening during the symposium? So symposium taking place on day 2 of the Global Summit. Right now you can see the program for the upcoming Global Summit in San Jose, which will be from October 17 to October 19. The symposium takes place on October 18. You can see that we have the keynotes in the morning. We have the 5 author tracks, and these tracks are AI, HPC, data center sustainability, network, quantum, and power and service. In the afternoon, we also have the FTI breakout sessions. The one that I mentioned earlier in my presentation. The FTI includes AI hardware software co-design, cloud service model, data-centric computing, and optical interconnect, which is a new addition this year. Posters are available during the whole day of the symposium. Anybody can go and check the posters. We also have a new addition this year with the tech demonstrations. So tech demonstration will be exhibiting at the same area close to the posters. So everybody is invited to check the newest future technologies that will be exposed at the symposium. And in the evening, we are going to have the award ceremony. As you might know, the Future Technology Symposium is awarding the best papers per track, and also the overall Future Technology Symposium best paper, which is awarded with a prize of $10,000. Again, in order to win the prize, your paper must be really meet the criteria that I mentioned earlier. The presentation should be great. The poster should be also very well presented, and the committee need to vote for this best paper. Where to find more information about what do we prepared for the upcoming Future Technologies on October 18? You can go use a QR code with a link to directly that will forward you to the symposium schedule. You can see that we also have the schedule for symposium and the breakout sessions in the afternoon. So I'd like to invite you to check the schedule, check what kind of technologies you're interested in, and attend the event. So the symposium will start at 8 in the morning, and we will end up at 5 p.m. in the afternoon with a award ceremony. So from 8 until 5 p.m. Any questions before I move forward with the startups? If no questions, then as you might know, the OCP had the focus on hyperscales, large organizations. So we identified that we need to make the OCP community more accessible to startups because the pace is different, they have a different needs. So we launched the OCP Startups program in April this year with the purpose to identify these future emerging technologies and startups who work on these emerging technologies and integrate them faster and better to the OCP community. By launching this program and membership and program in April this year, we were able to meet with different startups. And at this moment, I'm happy to announce that we have currently 8 startup members and 4 startup program participants. And the focus of these startups are, of course, the technologies that have a strategic importance and interest for the OCP community. These include the optics, optical interconnects, networking, AI, chiplets, cooling facilities, and data center sustainability. I'm sure you're familiar with some of the members. For example, from the European representation, we have the Carnot, who is a French-based startup, and we have Wooden Data Center, who is an active participant in general OCP community and also in our symposium and startup membership. Yes, so I'm going to conclude with an invitation for you to join the upcoming Global Summit in California. Again, you have a QR code with more information about the event. I think most of the people are familiar with the Global Summit, and if you are new, please check the link and get yourself familiar with information, what to expect, and the program and schedule. So this is an exceptional opportunity to meet with our members, with our global members in California, to meet with the hyperscales, to attend Future Technologies Symposium, to meet startups, and also network with the great people that belong to the OCP community. With that, I would like to conclude and thank you for your attention. I'm looking forward to meet you in October in San Jose, California.
Thank you very much, Lesia. Very much appreciate. Some questions, further questions to Lesia straight away.
Yeah, Lesia, hi. Here's Jaime.
Hi.
One question. You said you are you have a group of people reviewing the papers and the abstracts and so on. I guess for this time is already finished the process. But for next times, how do you organize this? Is somewhere where we can subscribe or somewhere where we can participate?
Yeah, thanks. This is a great question, and thank you for asking. So this year the committee is closed, it's formed because they help us, and actually their roles is almost finished, but you will be able to meet them at the Global Summit and during the symposium, of course. For the next year, we are going to launch a call for experts who would want to join us. We are going to slightly redefine the process. As of today, we were having the expert committee for each of the events, and we are probably going to make it on a yearly basis. So if you or someone else is interested, please reach out to me. Meet me at the Global Summit, talk with me, express your interest. We'll be happy to put you on the list of our candidates. We are going to have, we are looking for around 10 people or even more to become an expert members, either on the program committee or helping us with the reviewing. So if you're interested, just reach out to me or catch me at the symposium and talk to me.
Okay, we'll do so. Thanks.
Perfect. Further questions to Lesia? Obviously not. Yeah, let's move on. Let's give our next guest speaker the word. Let me again share my screen. I will give the floor now to Jan D'Souza from Eternetics. Okay.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Stefan.
Hey, Jan, let me share my screen, and I'm happy to just click you through the presentation.
For me, it works either way. I have the presentation with me as well, so I could share my screen too. So it's what suits you the best.
Well, let's if you agree, let's quickly. I will click you through.
All right.
You just say me when I can get active. So yeah, all yours. please
Okay.
share the good things what you're doing in Belgium.
Okay, thank you very much. So first of all, thank you for hosting this event and giving Ethernetics the opportunity to present itself. So hello, everybody. So my name is Jan de Zutter. I'm a co-founder of Ethernetics, and Ethernetics is indeed a Belgium technology startup, which was founded in 2019. And in 2020, we defined our vision and our mission, which is to decarbonize data centers. So we would like to be a piece of their puzzle in becoming carbon neutral by 2030. So our innovation sits indeed in the field of the industrial power strip, or better known as the PDU. And we offer innovation on 3 levels. So the first level, which is actually the slide, is the product itself. So we started from a blank sheet of paper. So we had the opportunity to redesign the PDU, and we of course took a decision to build a eco-proof product as possible. The second field of innovation sits in the fact that our PDU is able to host energy-saving services, so our own developed software. And last but not least, we have also the possibility to reprogram our PDU platform. So essentially, our PDU could evolve over time, and we would be able, or we are able, to host any future services we develop based upon the data we aggregate from our customers. So quickly to come back here on the hardware part, so the actual product. And I'm sure you all have read the slide in the meantime. So what I will do is I will just give a couple of examples. So first of all, our PDU is fully modular. So modularity, as you all know, I don't need to explain that to you guys, is a fundamental piece in sustainability. So from the moment that our backbone is racked, you can plug in a gateway, and the gateway is where we host our energy saving services. You can plug in any C13 or C19 module. The C13 modules have 4 outlets. The C19 modules have 3 outlets. We can host up to 9 of these modules, and in any combination, and any of these modules are hot swappable. So it gives opportunity for data center operators and data center customers in managing their PDU estate in a total different way, right? Because there is no geographical lock-in or no hardware lock-in. Whenever there is a change, you can basically take out such a module and have it replaced. Of course, in the material, we try to select the most eco-friendly material as possible. And to give an example, our chassis, which is about 188 or 189 centimeters long, it's a zero-U approach, is made of 90% recycled aluminium. It is from a Belgian company called Emax, and it's worldwide recognized as the most sustainable aluminium available year to date on the market. So it is recycled itself, but it could also be recycled again if for any reason the chassis would be sent back to their factory. So this is just two examples I would like to give. The last example I'd like to give is the local sourcing. So as Stefan mentioned, we are almost 100% Benelux product. Obviously, the chips we use and some other electronic components are not made in Europe, but the whole assembly and the whole production of our platform is happening in Belgium as well. So it's 100%, I would say, almost 100% European. And indeed, it is most probably the most sustainable PDU product available in the market today. So if you go to the next slide, Stefan, I will tell a bit more about the energy saving services. And the way I would like to guide you through this slide is to start on the top where you see PSU on off, and then I will go from top to bottom, basically, and then explain the numbers you see. So the first service we offer is called power supply on off. So what we basically do is we ask the customer, whenever they have a dual power supply server or a multi-power supply server, to use less power supplies for the same load of power. As we all know, the additional power supplies are not there to increase performance. They are mostly there for redundancy and availability reasons. There are some exceptions, of course, depending on brand and type of hardware, but generically speaking, these additional power supplies are just there for redundancy. So what do we see? If we go, for example, from a 2 power supply server, we only use 1 with the same load of energy, we actually see that we can save about 4% on energy. The numbers you see and the data you see is from an actual customer. So we had a test setup for more than 8 months with a big French telecommunications company for a longer period of time, and the data has been extrapolated on a 1 megawatt scale. So if we go back to the next service, unbalanced automation, our system is 3-phase based, and obviously within the 3 phases, you tend to have a disbalance. It can have many reasons, mostly because the conversions from the grid to the UPS to the batteries. And so the moment the power actually arrives in the rack, already some unbalance is happening. And so we have the capability to automatically rebalance any unbalance we see. The effect on the rack level, and if you only talk about a couple of racks, is negligible, right? So I mean, it's not that you will have a big gain. Of course, if you do it on a scale like 1 megawatt, then the actual service in the rack will use about 1 to 2% less energy. Now, the secondary effect is probably more interesting, because when there is unbalanced, then typically there is some stress on the cabling, and when you have stress on the cabling, you generate heat, and when you generate heat, you typically need to cool. And that, of course, has a cost in euro, but also a cost in emissions. So we have a nice secondary effect for the data center operator itself. Now, and the last service we offer is idle server detection. So, I mean, it sits, of course, in the word. As we all know, most servers, if not millions, if not tens of millions of servers out there, are connected to the grid, but are not working, in the sense that they have a very low occupancy rate and very few workloads running on them. So we are able to detect that. And then basically the customer can take some decisions. Either he consolidates physical servers, either he puts servers in a shutdown, either he reshuffles, for example, scheduled workloads, and so on. So all in all, and on this particular case, we were able to save about 12% of energy, which obviously for the customer represents an interesting return in euro, but more importantly also represents an interesting return for the environment. So depending on the market, and this is of course the French market, and as we all know, the French market has a lot of nuclear power, so it's pretty green, especially when you, for example, compare it. And I mean, just to give an example to the fossil fuel grid in Poland, then of course these emissions would be significantly higher. So we offer dashboards to our customers where they can both see in terms of euro what they can save or have saved, as well as what they have saved in CO2 or could save in CO2 if they interfere. We go to the next slide, which is in fact a summary of what I've just shared with you. So in summary, and this is also, I think, a very nice picture, and the reason why Stefan also started with startup going to scale up is that we are now leaving, I would say, the conceptual phase of Eternetics, and we are now moving into the industrial phase. So our product can now be made in quantities of thousands, and this is what we will do starting December of this year. The latest January of next year, we'll actually go to market with the product itself. So in summary, from a hardware perspective, fully modular, circular design, local sourcing, up and top European, innovative as it can give, it can be reprogrammed, and the energy saving services are available from day one, including the reporting on the CO2. Most probably, if not for certain, the lowest carbon footprint PDU available in the market. Probably the only PDU that can offer customers real ROI. And last but not least, the data center operators don't need to do any additional infrastructure investments. So you basically take out your basic PDU, you replace it by ours, and off you go. So this is what I wanted to show you in the 15 minutes that was offered to me. If there are any questions, please ask them or shoot. If you would like to get in contact with me after the presentation, these are my contact details.
Jan, thank you very much. It was a perfect presentation, really hitting the nail with your slides. Thank you very much for that. Possibly, I'm aware that you are now in the transformation from the startup to a scale-up, but possibly also maybe you can talk to Lesia. Maybe you qualify also for the European Startup Program. This is maybe something you can discuss with Lesia. But yeah, again, I don't want to interrupt here in the discussion. Are there any questions to Jan? Okay, obviously not at the moment. Yeah, please.
Yeah,
also,
one question. Jan, is this something what you just shown that can be done with PDUs, are monitor PDUs already, but they're not yours? Is this something, I mean, you can bring maybe your software there?
Well, very good question. Thank you for the question, Jaime. I think this is definitely, I would say, our ambition into the future. So in a nutshell, the opportunity of the energy saving services at this stage has to be done through our own PDU platform. But obviously, I mean, there are many other PDU manufacturers out there, and it might very well be that other people are in fact better at making them. And therefore, we definitely would like to take, I would say, an early mover advantage in developing these energy saving algorithms. So whenever a competitor or a partner PDU manufacturer would bring a PDU onto the market, which can be programmed, so can basically host software, and that architecture is based upon open source, because we have an open source stack, then basically our algorithms or our software services could be hosted on their platform. But that is not the case today. But that is definitely our ambition and our future.
All right. Further questions to Jan at the moment? If not, of course, yeah, please get in touch with him. Yeah, I can see also a sum up from Jaime there. By the way, there's also a good discussion in the chat here of this call. Also, Timothy Roberts, he also shared some further information which you possibly find useful. I like this very much, that we also have an interactive discussion here, and we are getting there. Just having in our mind, this is only the third call in a row. So I'm really happy with the development. So guys, I would like to continue. Hang on. And I would like to give the word to my dear friend Jaime from Spain, who's really leading, who's a voluntary lead for the heat reuse group. Jaime, all yours.
Thanks, Stefan. I guess you are going to click through the slides again, right?
If it's okay.
That's okay. It's okay. Just, well, my name is Jaime Comella. I'm co-leading the sub-project for the heat reuse sub-project, which is part of the Cooling Environments project. As you might know, it's how it works at the OCP. You have projects, sub-projects, and then inside of the sub-project, you have work streams. I don't know if we are going to go farther deeper after work streams somewhere, but well, it's how it works in this hierarchy. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the sub-project and our work, what we have done so far, what are our goals, where you can find the important information, the relevant information of our work, and a couple of pieces of materials that we have generated in the past year. And also, I will make a short introduction to the work streams we just opened 1-2 months ago and are really driving the efforts in the right direction in the heat reuse sub-project. Next slide. Exactly. So we created this sub-project beginning 2022 because we showed there was a lot of interest on heat reuse in the sector, And we didn't want to make this sub-project as a place where we only gather experiences of other people, but this at the end is also part of what we have done so far. We had more than 25 guest presenters in our calls, showing us their experiences with heat reuse, some of them real projects for heat recovery in data centers, totally different kinds in different parts of the globe. Some of them also were utilities, some of them national laboratories, national renewable energy laboratories, for example, the United States NRL. So totally different people of the industry bringing their views on this matter. So we wanted to create this awareness in the industry, bring guidance, around the heat reuse, and try to put together all these experiences on something really tangible and on documents that we want to create as a community work. And could you please unmute yourself, Matt, if possible? Mute yourself, thanks. And some of the materials we have created are a small article, the heat reuse map. We started with the guideline, which was a very lengthy document, and we realized that we needed to probably focus and do quick wins and do small articles before, and probably in 1 or 2 years we'll have a broader guideline, which will be probably a sum of different white papers put together, like a catalog of white papers. And the checklist is also something that we are looking into in the future. And as I will talk about, also the work streams are helping us to define focus areas to be effective in our work. Next slide, please. So first practical thing, you have a wiki page where you can access to all our materials. We have all our updates. You can see the calendar of the calls, and you can see how the structure works. Also, you can see the people that are involved. Click, please. You see there is that QR code that you can really scan to access to the wiki page. That QR code down left, in the bottom left, that blue one, is the QR code that brings you to the Zoom calls. It's always the same link, easy for every call, always the same link, so you can actually scan it and save it in your browser. Next slide, please. So the first thing I want to talk about is the 101 article. This is the first piece of work we have finished. This happened 2-3 months ago. This is a short introduction to the heat reuse topic. We thought it was good to create this light article, pretty general, talking about the challenges of heat reuse, but also the opportunities, talking about the different areas where we can find the different combinations of heat recovery from data centers with different activities, such as the ones you can see on that table in different fields. So agricultural field, for example, then also you have industrial fields as well. A lot of industrial processes need heat, actually. And so it's, let's say, the first as an appetizer to the topic. This article was created, also highlighting also the future work that is needed to be done, like analyzing the policies and doing a techno-economic analysis, which is pretty much the work we are doing in the workstream. So everything has grown in an organic way. We have started with this article, and now with the workstreams to get more detailed work done and be able to generate some materials at the end. Next slide, please. So heat reuse map, also you have there as I said before, each slide, if you go to the previous slide, you have a different QR code. In this slide, you have this different QR code. Each QR code is for the specific material. Now that QR code brings you to the map. The map was our intention with the map was to gather all these data center projects where there was some kind of heat recovery, either in already done and under operation, or planned. So planned projects that don't exist yet. We thought that putting that together could stimulate other people to see that they are not alone in this world with this idea, and they can get some inspiration from others, right? We see that I'm in the European call, so I am allowed to say that Europe is prevailing a lot in this topic. 80 use cases against 8 in the US and the rest of the world. There is one use case known in Japan, and the other 7 are in the US and Canada, sorry, but the rest are in Europe, right? We got also a lot of collaboration from the Dutch Data Center Association, because they are also mapping this in their country, and they gave us a list of data centers that are doing this. And we also got help from Microsoft as well. They did some research in the past, and they shared with us a list of a bibliography that helped us also to find some use cases that we couldn't find. Actually, they weren't online, or they were difficult to unveil. Yeah, we are seeing that there's still some challenges on getting details on each project. So either companies do not have them really, or are too small projects, or they have fear on sharing information. This is something we are actually struggling to get those details. So we have counted on community to get that feedback from them, get that, so those details, that information from them, that we will probably have to proactively go to each one of the dots of the map. The map you will show I will show you in the next slide, to get the details. So can you just click? Yeah. So the map aspect is like this one. You see the blue dots are the projects that are already running. The red dots are the projects that are not running yet. So they are under elaboration, they are planned, or they are a concept rather. If you click on one of the dots, next click. No, just click. No, you don't click on the dot. Exactly. There is a spreadsheet behind that you can access, where all these details can be listed. I think if you click again, it will zoom on that. Click. Exactly. So you see, you have the location, you have the installed power, the temperature levels, what is actually the heat reuse case, I mean, what is connected to the data center, etc., etc. All these data are relevant, we think, and they can bring a lot of value and quality to this map. And we have very few data. I mean, that these data are from the NRL, the National Renewable Energy Laboratory in Colorado, and well, they are very collaborative. Of course, as a public entity, it's probably easier to get that data from them. But ideally, we will have this for every single dot of the map. So please, here a call to action as well. If you know somebody in those organizations, please ask them to provide this information. I think it's very helpful. Or if not, just put me in contact with them in an email, and we can do that ourselves. Next slide, Stefan. Stefan, you're mute. I don't know if you want to talk. I'm seeing your lips moving.
Can I possibly jump in with a comment? Sorry, I was unmuted. Yeah, it's an excellent tool, the heat reuse map. Yeah, please continue promoting it. I think people are not aware that it's existing. As you can also realizing, we have Matt from Deep Green Energy. They're also on the list. So yeah, let's say David and myself, we're also promoting. And yeah, also please do the same within the community. I think it's just such an excellent tool. Please go ahead.
Great. Thank you very much, Stefan. Just as an example, the regions with the biggest quantity of projects with heat recovery are the Nordics, with 30 use cases, and the Netherlands with 18 use cases. Well, Netherlands also maybe due to the fact that we got a lot of data from that Data Center Association, but well, it's known that these regions are promoting a lot the heat recovery in data centers for different reasons. Because we tend to think that district heating is driving the heat recovery from data centers, but in the Netherlands there are very few district heating networks. Actually, there are a lot of district heating networks in Eastern Europe, but there are 0 use cases almost of heat reuse from data centers in Eastern Europe. So it's not as easy, it's not as straightforward as we think, and this is also something we want to unveil with this data from all these use cases. I mean, to show hey, look, it's what is the most common way of reducing the heat? Is this in a hyperlocal project? Is this more a district heating network? Is this a greenhouse? Is this something else? You know, so again, that the relevancy of this tool. Please, next. Now I'm talking about the different work streams. So the first one is the reference designs work stream. The idea of the mission of this work stream is to end up having materials for future designs of heat recovery. Of course, we know that there is no one fits all in this concept. There is an infinity of different designs that could fit for different infinity of projects, but we believe there is still a common base from project to project, which is at the end an exchange room where you can exchange the heat from the data center to the outside. The aspect of this room will kind of be similar. We will have a heat exchanger, we will have some controls, we have some valves, and there will be a lot of different stuff that will be added depending on what is going to be connected. But we want to set up the base. It's not like set up a standard, but at least set up a base that could help designers for designing heat recovery projects. Leadership there are David Sickinger from the NRL and Mark Smith from Alfa Laval. And well, the outcome we want to make, the materials we want to make is an HVAC line diagram, a 3D drawing, simple 3D drawing. Oh, the finger, just no, you're going. What happened? The cat on the keyboard. Reference designs, one more, exactly. 3D drawing, a table with components, with technical components, and a dimensioning tool, you know, to be able to dimension the different components. And at the end of all, a white paper with the results of our work. The calls are every second Thursday of each month, 5 to 6 p.m. CET. Okay, again, the link and that QR. Next slide, please. Next slide is tissue analysis. Tissue analysis is a technique. Is the other one was a technical analysis. This is more the economic analysis. How much does it cost? Again, it's based on a basic design, on a basic setup, which is more or less common to all of the heat reuse use cases. It will depend a lot from case to case, if I bring a storage tank or not, if I bring a heat pump or not, if the heat pump is on my side as a data center or is at the side of the heat off-taker. So this variability also, we want to depict this on the model, but at the end, the outcome would be a spreadsheet with a model where you can play with. I mean, maybe it's better done as a spreadsheet and will be a different tool, but let's see what we can do. I mean, I don't want to be so aggressive with this. And the leadership is Peter Terenius and Jack Collar, and the calls are every third Thursday of each month, 5 to 6 p.m. CET. And then, yeah, Stefan.
Apologies for clicking through or advancing those slides. It was by accident. So there is no reason to hurry up. Yeah.
No problem.
I don't want to accelerate it. So take it easy. So we take it slide by
no
slide.
Problem. No problem. I don't have much more to say. And the next work stream is the policies. We realize there are getting movements in the regulation and in the framework of especially in the European Union, and we also see that there are also some first movers from the industry around the heat reuse. So we wanted to explore what is happening out there and make an analysis of the situation, the status quo, and check and make a list of good practices and potential good practices that could be done. The outcome of this would be a white paper with the results of the research and the discussions we are having, and this being led by David Gardiner and Otto van Geet, very, very wonderfully. The calls are every third Tuesday of each month, 5 to 6 p.m. CT. David?
Can I add about the Nordics that people think that there have so many heat reuse projects due to some legislation, but no, there is no special like a legislation or pushing in comparison with Netherlands. In Netherlands, opposite, they have that request to make heat reuse, but the idea that without any pushing, that center itself start make that heat reuse in Nordics.
Exactly. Maybe it's because it's much colder and they see the opportunity. And well, they also maybe there is something to do with the mentality also of the societies. But anyway, we see that policies are going to shape our sector and to shape also our sector in this matter. And we are seeing how laws, as the German one, our European Union directive, the Energy Efficiency Directive, are going to shape this and force data centers at least to study the viability of heat reuse from their data centers. So this is also something we're gathering in this white paper. Next slide, please.
Sorry, yeah, can I just also add an observation from northeastern Europe, where we do have district heating, but the data centers are usually fairly small, certainly compared with some of the Dutch and UK ones that I've seen. There's one not far from me where I think their total power draw is still measured in kilowatts for the data center. So yeah, there is district heating as an obvious application, but there's maybe not enough heat being generated to drive it.
Well, we are seeing also as well that most of the projects are not giving so much quantity of heat. So even small projects can bring this forward, and doesn't mean that you can rely on one small project, but maybe on many of them. And of course, it's more complex than centralizing everything on one big data center, and that is connected to a district heating network. But we're seeing that most of the projects are giving a relatively small amount of heat to the heat off taker, to the heat user that is connected to the data center. So is there, Jonathan, you want to say something? Nordics have many more town districts.
Yeah. Hi guys. I've experience of the Nordics and the UK, and the Nordics have a far more town district heating systems. It's a real problem for the UK. There aren't any really.
But it's changing. It's changing.
Yeah, it is changing very, very slowly, but it's not something that developers tend to encourage in the UK. Or do planners actually? It doesn't seem to be on anyone's agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
The trouble with district heating is, of course, it only covers half the year. You know, we still need to find a reason to use the heat in the summer as well.
What we see also, I mean, as I said before, in Eastern Europe is the region in Europe with the biggest quantity of district heating networks. Eastern Europe. So there is a huge opportunity there to really once the data centers are going to be settled there more and more, which is probably going to happen, then to connect them directly to the district heating, to plan this from the beginning. So I mean, I see this rather as an opportunity.
Totally agree, but it doesn't address the problem of the summer when you don't need the heat.
No, of course, this is always something that you have to consider.
Unless we can do something with heat pumps to provide cooling in the summer, maybe, I don't know.
Exactly.
And we also evaluate the solutions which don't need district heating. I mean, the solutions which can be separated, modular, point by point.
Exactly. So like decentralized, right? Like what the concept behind the fifth generation of district heat networks is more that the generation is decentralized, right? Okay, next slide, please, Stefan. Because I went through this. Already. Exactly. Future work, as I mentioned before, checklist assessment. We are planning a new work stream to define this checklist assessment. The idea of this is to make a checklist with parameters that a data center has to check before developing a heat reuse project in its data center, either for new data centers or legacy data centers. The goal to open this workstream is spring next year. And then the matchmaking platform, this is not something probably we're going to do, but this is something I wanted to mention. Because we want to contribute to it. And this is the place where the demand meets the offer. And the offer would be the heat generated by the data centers, the heat provided by data centers, and the demand would be any industry that it's around there that would need heat, and they are not at all in contact with data centers. So it's really a place where you can decide on beforehand where to put your industry or where to put your data centers, depending on the demand or the offer of the heat that's around. Next, Stefan. Yeah, and then the last slide is a call to action, how you can get involved. Well, contact us, present your use case during our calls, join our work streams, bring interesting discussions there. They're open for everyone. All the work streams are open. Suggest new work streams if you want. You want to treat a topic, and better if you want to lead it. Please suggest a work stream. We can open new work streams. We see it's working, and well, then what else? If your data center is in the map, please give us the data. Again, please give us the data. If it's not on the map and you have a heat reuse project and you want to be spoiled on the map, let us know. We are more than happy than put that on the map. It's very easy, very fast. We can do this as well. If you know somebody that's in this case, please help us with the networking. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jaime. Great presentation. Further questions to Jaime at this point?
Hi, it's Lesia. I do have one question, or actually two questions. So the first one is about the companies who contribute the most to the heat reuse projects. I'm really curious to know some of the companies. And the second question would be around the map that you just mentioned. So heat reuse map. I'm curious to know what are technologies these data centers are deploying. Any specific technology or maybe combination?
Okay, the first question is contributors in our sub-project, like who is working there? Okay. Well, totally different people. I'm from a co-location, data center co-location company. There is Cosimo was there before, and now it's in different sub-projects. He's from Alfa Laval, so there are some suppliers. There are also people from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, so there are researchers. Totally different type of people. The consultants, David Gardner, for example, is a consultant, is a independent consultant. We don't have people from utilities. This will help a lot. So if you know somebody that is willing to participate, please let me know, because of course they have something to do with this. We also have, and now, yes, I haven't mentioned this, my mistake, my bad. The new colleague in the sub project is a guy from Microsoft. He's Barath. He's based in California. No, in Seattle, sorry. And so Microsoft was there, also there. And the different technologies that are involved in the heat reuse. Most of the projects that are in the map are traditional classical data centers with air cooling. Of course, there are a couple of them that are using liquid cooling. Yeah, like my former company, Cloud & Heat, Carnot in France. There are different companies like this. Well, future projects like the Wyoming hyperscale white box in Wyoming is going to use immersion cooling.
Deep Green.
And Deep Green, who's here, I think Mark is here. So Deep Green as well is using immersion. So there are different technologies involved, but the majority is classical air-cooled data centers still. They are using low-grid heat, and usually they're giving that to someone who's elevating the temperature using heat pumps.
Yeah, just some thoughts about this map and the assessment that you mentioned that you are going to make, maybe just things for food for thoughts. You might want to consider making the for different applications of technologies. For example, you cannot really compare the immersion and air. So just something to consider.
Of course not. So that's partially also part of the checklist. If somebody's saying, well, I want to develop a data center with liquid cooling, they will score maybe higher. Because
exactly.
they will get a higher temperature, so it will be easier to sell or reuse the heat or whatsoever. Yeah, so they will face a lower barrier to give that heat away because it doesn't need to be elevated, right?
All right, you guys, we are slowly but surely running out of time, so I think we need to stop here, unfortunately. Of course, all our guest speakers are available also after the call, so at this point of time, I would like to thank Lesia, Jan, and Jaime for your time and also for sharing all these excellent slides with us. Again, please feel free to get in touch. This session is recorded. The video recording as well as the presentations will be shared on our wiki page. So please also have a look out for that. And yeah, I'm happy to really welcome you next month. That would be the 10th of October. And hopefully, again, we will have a similar set of great presenters by then. That's about it from my side. Yeah, one final point is actually when it comes to the global OCP summit, we possibly, it's not finally confirmed, we will have a dedicated area for the European OCP community there. So I'm hoping that we are, some of the guys will also be available, and then please feel free to really come to the meetup. Again, it's not finally confirmed. All right, thank you very much. You take care and talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
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 Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.